Hey there, this is video number 2 in a 2-part series I'm making on challenge lock keys and key pins. In the first video, we cut this key by hand from a blank, and then in this video we're going to be making key pins to match. We're making them out of 3mm brass stock. The tools we're going to be using are a 52 TPI razor saw. I like this one more than the X-Acto razor saw, but that's also a popular option. If you don't have one of these, you can just use a plain old junior hacksaw blade, just anything that will cut brass. We also have a set of needle files. These are made by Grobet. They're absolutely worth the money to buy nice files. The 99-cent hardware store files are trash. We'll also be using a little bit of sandpaper and then a plug to be testing the keys. Oh, and a Dremel, which I'll show after cutting the video. The basic approach we're going to be doing is we insert the key into the plug and then find the depth that we're going to be cutting, come in with a razor saw, make a small mark, and then cut and file. Another way people will often do this is to instead of going through the tedium of trimming in that manner, what they'll instead do is just drop in a couple key pins that don't quite work. You know, these are a little too long. These are commercial key pins, but then just come over the top of this with a file and trim this down until it matches the plug. I really don't like doing that because it removes metal from the surface of the plug and reduces pick resistance. Plus, I am also just kind of a snob and want to make my key pins from scratch. Here's an example of a lock that somebody's done that to. You can see that flat that's been cut on top. This is from an old lock that just came in a lot that I got on eBay. But if we turn it to the side, we can see, first of all, if you pull the key out a little bit, all the pins match, but you push it in, they stick up. So that was, the person who did it wasn't very careful. But also, these key pins are sticking up so far that in a well-made lock, this plug shouldn't even insert into the lock body. It should bind. But in fact, it works beautifully. There's absolutely no resistance, and that's because by filing the plug like that, we've effectively widened the shear line, and that is something that I intend to avoid by just making the pins from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and change the video angle, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I think I've got an angle that's going to work for us. The approach we're going to be doing, you can see, is I have my Dremel locked down in a vise, and then I've got the brass chucked up in the Dremel. And what we're going to be doing is coming in and with the key inserted in the plug, again, pinching tightly to keep the key from sliding out. I'm going to insert all the way down until the stop, make a mark, and then cut almost all the way through before snapping it with my fingers. And we'll do that for all of the pins and then come back and fine-tune the lengths. The first thing we have to do is this end is where it's going to be contacting the key, so we need to shape this so it'll glide. You can make it pointy or you can make it round. I like round, it's a little easier. Okay, so our key pin is started. We just need to set the depth. There we go, got a nice little scratch started. And then if we test it, we should see that the key pin is just a little too long for the plug. In fact, I probably could have cut that a little bit closer, but too long is good because the next step is to make it shorter. If I were to cut this too short, then we'd have to start over. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video, do the rest of these key pins, and then we'll catch up at the next step. Okay, we can see each one of these is just a little too long, and now we need to trim them down. And the way to do that is we chuck them up in here and then just guess and check. If I can get it out. Okay. So the way I check is I insert the key into the key pin into the plug, grab our key, and it looks pretty close. I think I actually got lucky and nailed it first try. But what you do is you insert it into the lock body. Oh, no, it's a little bit long. So it's binding, it's not quite going in. So we need to shorten just a little bit more. Almost. Just a hair more, you can hear it catching. There we go. Nice, smooth operation. And you'll notice the last step that I was doing after trimming is I was coming back and adding a slight bevel, just breaking this edge right here. And that's to help smooth operation. You can, if you want to compare this to some commercially made pins. So there's another one. So these ones, let's see. You can see how aggressively broken this edge is, how beveled it is. That's to help smooth operation of the lock, but it also makes it a little easier to pick. And then this one, this monstrosity, I think this is supposed to be universal key pin and driver. Got a bunch of these in different lengths. That's just really gross the way that's beveled so much compared to this one where it's damn near a 90, but I just broke the edge enough that there are no burrs that are going to hang up, and it adds just a slight amount of tolerance to help the lock operate smoothly. So I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of the key pins, and then we will wrap this up. Okay, so I finished all the key pins except I left one a little long so I can show you the other technique you can use, which is instead of shortening the key pins, you can actually just shorten the key, because this is a challenge lock. We don't really care to follow bidding specifications or to make it so you can duplicate this key easily. So you can, if you want to do it this way, save yourself a little bit of tool changing. Oh, look at that. Got it. Looks like first try. No, I'm going to take a little bit more. Just a hair more. Can't test it right now because I have the lock body already loaded with drivers to demonstrate that the key works, so I'm just doing this by eye. That looks pretty good. And so here are the rest of the key pins. You can see there they are. Let's go ahead and load them up. Key goes in. Key pins all look good. Oh no, I didn't do it right. Little bit of dragging. That's looking better. Okay. Here we go. Key works nice and smoothly. I guess that's upside down to you. There we go. That's how I make the key pins. Have a good day.